Chris, let's talk about your audition.
Okay.
This is, you're like overnight. You are one big overnight sensation.
Oh, thank you. Seems like a 4-year overnight sensation because this is like the first person that would let me work. But audition. Well, I originally was auditioning for the role of Artie, and I walked in, and the first thing that Ryan said to me, I'll never forget, was, "Why do I have a feeling you've been in The Sound of Music?" And
Best impression.
And he was.
and I said, well, I was Kurt in The Sound of Music back in the day, and then the next thing I know, they wrote the part of Kurt Hummel for me.
And what's it been like going home now?
Interesting. A lot of people that weren't so nice to you claim to have been your best friend, which I find fascinating because I don't forget easily.
One thing this morning I tweeted that I was doing this, and everyone wants to know about Puck and Rachel. Will we be seeing more Puck and Rachel?
Puckleberry, we call them. It's interesting, because, when you do a show like this, when I went in and I pitched the show, I pitched out the first, I think, 3 or 4 years. You have to do that. And I always was really sort of interested in the Rachel Finn relationship, and then, which will always be there, but when you do an episode, like we just did a special episode, we did that episode just so that sort of Mark and Leah could sort of play around together, and people really did love it. And of course, we didn't know that until, because we had shot, the first 13 we shot in a vacuum, they didn't air until, we were all done. So, yes, they will get back together, but the great thing that we found about the Puck character that we love is, even though he's a great bad boy, we kind of want to keep him bad. So he actually has an affair with almost every lady on this panel.
I'm coming for you, Jane.
Except, not Jane yet, but
If she could get the principal, she'll get you.
So yeah, that's and also that's just the fun of when you shoot a show. You see who has chemistry, who, in the sort of the idea of 2 Jewish kids in high school dating each other clearly did touch a nerve. So we do bring them back and give them another go. Yes, we do.
Kevin.
Yes.
Does it ever get frustrating? Do you want to sometimes just get up and dance?
I do when the camera turns off. I'm always dancing, whether it's inappropriate or not. But I end up knowing all the dances because in rehearsal I just do them, and I can kind of, if you watch closely, I'm probably cheating in the wheelchair because Zach, the choreographer, is like, just figure out what you can do that looks like them. So I'm just over there like, but no, I'm good. I love. I can dance outside of it, but I love playing Artie as he is. I like the wheelchair.
And then how did you come up with the wheelchair sequence that you did, which was amazing?
Well, the show to Ian and Brad and Dante and I was always very specific. It was about the dog, it was about inclusion, it was about the handicapped kid, the gay kid, the pregnant girl, the minority students having a voice. And that was sort of in the middle of the season, and we were sort of burnt out because we none of us had done a musical before, and we weren't pacing ourselves. And I think that I just had the idea that I wanted to see Proud Mary in a wheelchair. And that's, I believe, what happened. And then we met, and we were like, okay, if you know that, how do you move backwards from that? But it started with that. And I think of all the numbers we've done, that's one of the ones I'm the most proud of, and I think it's the one that killed the kids the most, I think. The shooting of that was incredibly difficult. There were a lot of accidents and spills, and at the end of it, people were like, Kevin, we didn't know it was so hard. And, but it was a beautiful number. It was a beautiful episode. It's my favorite episode we've done thus far, I think, Wheels. But it started with just a visual of the kids loving Artie and supporting him, and they all did such a great job in it, I think.